Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Bhante.
Okay. Today we are going to talk on another very important aspect of the Buddha's teaching. I start this talk, I think we have to wait for a few more minutes before we start the talk because there are only very few people and we want to wait for another 2 or 3 minutes. Then we can start. I hope you all are doing well. Yeah?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, very good. Very good. Some may feel cold, some may feel hot. People in Texas, Atlanta, may be feeling warm. We feel pretty cold today. This morning, 27 degrees Fahrenheit. And we don't have any special thing to say. Last Sunday, I could not have the talk or the answer questions. And if you have a question, you can ask me tomorrow. Well, let us begin the talk. Today, I like to speak with the simile of the tortoise. A tortoise and jackal, animals talk. One evening, a tortoise was walking very slowly on a river bank looking for food. And at the same time, a jackal or fox also was walking on the same bank, river bank, looking for food. When the tortoise saw the jackal, he withdrew all his limbs inside. How many limbs he was putting out? Actually 6. People say 5, 6. What are they? 4 legs, his head and tail. People say 5, but I noticed the tortoise put out all the 6. His tail is also fleshy. Limbs, fleshy. Head, fleshy. And the jackal saw the tortoise. Tortoise saw the jackal. And jackal was slowly moving at the same speed as tortoise was moving. And when the jackal got close to him, immediately he withdrew all his limbs and put all of them in under his shell, which is very hard. And jackal saw from distance this fellow was moving. And now as he got closer, this was like a rock. There wasn't any sign of life. Then jackal sniffed all around the tortoise and he could not find any flesh. So he waited. Tortoise also waited. Now they are playing waiting game. Finally, jackal, his hunger increased. How long he can tolerate hunger? So he waited and disappointed, even got upset and lost all his appetite, interest in eating this very juicy, fresh flesh of tortoise. And he went away. Buddha used this simile. This is a very realistic simile to illustrate very important thing that happens to us. So he said, Buddha said, the tortoise in the mind's thought as drawing in the mind's thought as tortoise draws its limbs into its shell, independent, not harassing others, fully quenched, a bhikkhu would not blame anyone. That is the Buddha's statement. Now each limb represents our senses. They are called sense faculties. Senses are called doors or faculties or base. Doors means chakku dwara, sota dwara, dwara means door. Gana dwara, jivha dwara, kaya dwara, mano dwara. That is the doors. They also are called indriya. Chakku indriya, sota indriya, gana indriya, jivha indriya, kaya indriya, mano indriya. They also are called faculties. Chakkayatana, sotayatana, ganayatana, jivhayatana, kayayatana, manayatana. So each has its own function. As a door the function is to open and close. Indriya's function is specializing. And the ayatana's function is activities, a lot of activities. Now, whether it is ayatana, indriya, or faculty, when they open to outside, when doors open to outside, all the dust can come in. All the unwholesome things can come in. Very seldom wholesome thing comes in. Most of the time, unwholesome things come in. We say, for instance, eye. When eyes open, there are objects. And we always say objects themselves don't have anything, they are just objects. These objects are either pleasant, agreeable, charming, pleasing, connected with sensual pleasures, and rousing excitement. Now, these reactions are not in anything we see. Similarly, we hear sound, pleasant, agreeable, charming, pleasing, connected with sensual pleasures, and arousing our desire. We see we have an order, not the bad order, like mouth odor, but something that we smell. Also is pleasant, agreeable, charming, pleasing, connected with pleasure, and arousing. The taste also is pleasant, agreeable, charming, pleasing, connected with pleasure, and arousing. The tangible, hot tobacco, tangible, the touch also is pleasant, agreeable, charming, pleasing, connected with sensual pleasures, and arousing. The mind object as memories, collection of various things that we have seen, heard, smell, tasted, and touch. All these things come as mind objects, called sometimes Dhamma. They also, because of the things that we have seen, heard, and so forth, we already build up in our mind this pleasantness, agreeableness, and charming, and all these things we have already built up. When we remember, these are things we remember. We remember when we have seen the object, it was pleasant, and you remember that pleasantness. The object was agreeable, and so forth. When we hear a sound of beautiful music, songs, various kind of chanting, they revibrate, echoing in our mind, echoing. Sometimes that also is more dangerous, because that is why the Buddha asked us to observe this Natya, Gita, Vadita, Visuka, Dasana, also dancing, singing, music, and so forth, because we remember them. When we sit to meditate, we remember the songs we heard, very beautiful, singing, musical instruments, classical or jazz or rock and roll or whatever. We remember, and then we can imagine, mind goes haywire, remember. And therefore, we have to minimize them, reduce them, or don't pay attention. So, now, as they arise, when we see object, pleasant, agreeable, and so forth, along with this, Mara is coming like a fox, the jackal. The pleasantness is the bait. And if we get carried away with the pleasantness, agreeable nature, charming nature, pleasing nature, the nature of connected to essential pleasures, and nature of arousing, then we will be totally obsessed with them. And that was the very beautiful moment for Mara to grab us. It is just like this tortoise. If the tortoise became careless, he puts out one of his limbs, then jackal would catch him. Similarly, when we see all those things, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and so forth, then the Mara will grab us and take us and just whatever the Mara wants to do. At that time, we should not lose some mindfulness. We must keep the mindfulness always. When we see, Buddha doesn't mean that we should not see object. We see object, we hear sounds, you go to a shopping mall, you can hear music. You sometimes you telephone, and until you wait for the next person comes, you hear music on the telephone. And you keep waiting. Longer you wait, more music you hear. But you cannot stop that. So, therefore, it happens without your intention, unintentionally. These things simply keep bombarding your mind, your ears. When you go out, you cannot close your eyes and go. You have to keep your eyes open. And when you go to a, shopping mall, you walk through the perfume area. The whole area is completely full of molecules coming from this perfume. You have no way to control. Same thing when you eat. There is a taste. You have to taste, and your touch. Now, so Buddha said in what you call in Indriya Bhavana Sutta, Parasarya, one of the students of Parasarya came to see the Buddha, and Buddha asked, how does Parasarya train his disciples? This student of Parasarya said, well, he asked us not to see object, not to hear sound. Then Buddha said, well, in that case, all those who are blind, stone blind by birth, and those who cannot hear anything, they are deaf by birth, can restrain their senses. They don't have to make any effort. Buddha said that is not the way to restrain your senses. When the sensory object arises, you should remain mindful. You should remain mindful and even listen more deeply, closely, not to enjoy the music, but to see how impermanent it is. The sight you see is next second disappears. The smell and sound, taste, touch, all these are not permanent. They arise and pass away. So your mind should be ready to see inside of your experiences, have a very deep awareness and not to get carried away with these things. So Buddha said, since you have the sight features, since if you leave your eyes faculty unguarded, unprotected, unwholesome states of covetousness and displeasure can arise. If you remain unguarded, unprotected your senses. That is why in meditation, at the very beginning, we say, abhijja domanasam, vineya loke abhijja domanasam. That means discipline, restrain your abhijja, covetousness, domanasa, displeasure, pleasure and hate, like and hate should be guarded. Our senses should be guarded, not to have covetousness and hatred. When we see sound, when we see object, hear sound, smell, taste, and so forth, we should neither be greedy, nor should we reject and get upset and angry. But instead, we see the truth in the Buddha's teaching. We must always avoid both extremes of hatred, extreme of greed or clinging, but see the truth in the middle. What is the truth? The greed is impermanent, hatred is impermanent, even equanimity is impermanent. So we see this impermanent nature. So see the even mental phenomena with mind, and we do not grasp its sign or features. That means when we see when we see objects, we should not go into appreciating the color is beautiful, shape is beautiful, it is so symmetrical, and its diameter, its dimensions, 4 dimensions, 3 dimensions, and so forth. Instead of looking at all these signs of the object, when we see a person, when a man sees a woman, or woman sees a man, or we see an animal, a child, babies, man, woman, and so forth, we should not go into these features that arouse our greed, that would increase our what you call pleasantness or agreeable nature, charming nature, and pleasing nature. and all these connected with sensual pleasures and arousing. Because all these are mundane. They are called, the pleasure arising from them is called samisa sukha. Pleasure arising from them is called samisa sukha. Samisa means material. For the samisa sukha, for material, to arouse material pleasure, we have to have something outside. Outside. This is, we say samisa puja, amisa puja. Samisa, amisa means material. Now, there is a higher pleasure that is called niramisa sukha, niramisa spiti, niramisa joy, niramisa happiness. What is niramisa? That which arises within ourselves, not from outside. This is a very important thing to remember. Always, samisa needs something outside. Visual objects, audible sound, smell, taste, touch, and memories, all this comes from outside. Outside. Outside things we have no control. Outside things, the joy we arise from the outside things is impermanent. And that joy always has a danger. They are called, pleasure has a danger. And Buddha said, I went on searching for pleasure. Kamanang asada. Kamanang asada. Asadang asada pariyesanang agami. Buddha said, I went on looking for pleasure, outside pleasure, not looking for, going means he didn't walk or took plane or took vehicle and so forth. He just has to search, keeps his eyes open. Wherever he walks, sits, stands and lying, and always keep senses open to see how the pleasure arises. And all this pleasure has danger. Asada has danger. Asada adinava. So, adinav is the Mara. So, Niramisa Sukha doesn't have asada. Niramisa Sukha doesn't have danger. What is Niramisa Sukha? It always have peace, real happiness, lasting happiness. What is Niramisa? Which arises from within oneself. This is called Niramisa Sukha. Niramisa Tara Sukha, there is another pleasure called Niramisa Tara Sukha. Niramisa Tara means additional. What is that? Attaining first jhana, you attain the first jhana, you have Niramisa Sukha. And the second jhana is better, have Niramisa Sukha. Third jhana is still better, Niramisa Sukha. Fourth jhana is still better, Niramisa Sukha. Attaining Sotapanna is still better, Niramisa Sukha. Attaining Sakadagami is better, Niramisa Sukha. Attaining Anagami is still better, Niramisa Sukha. Attaining Arhantu is the best, Niramisa Sukha. So, as you gradually increase your spiritual practice, you gain spiritual happiness that has degrees of pleasure, higher and higher and higher degrees of pleasure. And therefore, when we are engaged in samisa sukha, seeking mundane, ordinary, material pleasure, we put ourselves down, go way down, 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 down. Niramisa sukha going way up, 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 up to the best. And therefore, Buddha said, use this simile to illustrate as long as you withdraw from the sensual pleasures and seek the pleasure inside, like the tortoise, when he withdraw all his senses, he is very quiet, calm, no fear, no danger. As similarly, Samisa Sukha has a danger. Niramisa Sukha doesn't have danger. This I mean, Niramisa Sukha has already security, guarantee of security, safety. Samisa Sukha has no, you are exposed to danger. Because everybody else wants that. Everybody else wants that. And that is why the Buddha gave the simile, 10 similes of the danger of sensual pleasure. 10 similes in Alagaddupa Sutta and Sakuludaya Sutta. Buddha gave and Magandiya Sutta. Buddha said similes of dangers of sensual pleasure. He has never given any danger of spiritual pleasure. Spiritual pleasure always have security, safety, assurance, protection from all entanglement in the base of Mara. Mara is giving all kind of baits to attract your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And you become a victim. You become a victim. Mara is always ready to bribe you. Or Mara is trying to, what you call, also ransom, kidnap you, ask for ransom. But spiritual pleasure, there is no such danger. Therefore, the tortoise, until the jackal is like Mara, until Mara completely gives up, gets tired of you, you can keep in safe and secure place. Well, what is that? Stay with your mindfulness. Stay with mindfulness. As long as we remain mindful, then we are leading in the right direction of to the security place, secure place, safe place, harmless place. And therefore, this simile is very important to remember. And the stanza Buddha said in Pali, it's very beautiful, said, Kummova angani sake kapale samodaham bhikkhu mano vitakke anistito anya mahetayano parinibhito nopa vadeya kinchi. Which means, it's very beautiful in Pali. In translation is, drawing in the mind's thoughts as the tortoise draws its limbs into its shell, independent, not harassing the others, fully quenched, a bhikkhu would not blame anyone. because he is so safe, calm, peaceful, secure. Whom to blame? He doesn't blame even Mara because he has no anger or resentment in his mind. So, friends, that is what I want to say today. That's Dhamma talk. And now let us do some meditation and see how can we do that. Uh, okay. 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 May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another, as a mother who risks her own life to protect her only child. Even so, towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought in mind, let us meditate for another at least 25 minutes. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings origin in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Friends, with this metta thought, let us end this session with my regular metta sharing with everybody. May all those who are in hospitals suffering from various diseases, may they recover very soon, return to their normal health, and continue their Dhamma practice and be able to attain liberation from all sickness, all suffering of samsaric existence. May all the doctors, nurses who are very compassionately sacrificing their comfort, risking their life, going through various difficulties, working on very odd hours sometimes to take care of these people. May they continue their very wonderful service and find time to practice Dhamma meditation and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who have lost their loved ones, have been grieving, may they be free from grief, as we recite at the beginning. May they find peace, find time to practice Dhamma meditation, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. And all those who are in various trouble spots, war zones, poverty-stricken area, discriminations, and deprivation of various comforts, may they find peace, find time to practice Dhamma, meditation, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May everyone, all in 10 directions, of all nature, all sizes, be well, happy and peaceful, and find peace and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. Thank you, friends. If you have questions tomorrow, you can ask me, either writing on the chat box or verbalizing. Okay? Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.